Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about market research. What are some things to look for and what are some things to avoid? And the reason I'm saying this is because we just started doing our market research. So there's been some stuff we've learned in the past week and also today from our first call. So basically we have calls and then we have coffee shop meetings. Anyone in person, we try to get them into a coffee shop and just get face-to-face, read their behavior, understand what they're really saying. And then if we can't, obviously we try to get them on like a Zoom call or a FaceTime or whatever it is. So couple main points is the best way in general to learn about your target audience if you're building a product or a service is you want to go about it in 3 different ways. One is live the way they live or do what they do. And this, for us, this was wholesaling for 6 months. This was like actually doing what a wholesaler or what an investor does for 6 months. And through that experience, we've lived through what a wholesaler in our area lives through. We've understood the difficulties and the problems that arise on a day-to-day basis, not like a grand scale of things, because that's easier to see from the outside. But when you're in it on a day-to-day, you really know what's going on. Second is to observe them. So along with actually doing it in those 6 months, we were working with other wholesalers. We were observing how they worked. We were talking to buyers and observing how they worked, and same thing with sellers. Like the entire industry was in front of us, and we were just looking at it on a day-to-day basis for 6 months straight. So we've built a really good foundation of those two. Now, I'd still say we need to work more on both of them, especially more observations and watching them on their day-to-day, whether it's operations or the way they move deals around. And then the most important one that kind of brings all of them together is number 3, which is actually talking to them. So we've lived in their shoes. We've seen what they do and how they do it, but now we actually need to get in their heads and understand what they're thinking in those moments, how they're going about those difficulties and problems, and if they're actually finding solutions or they're just finding workarounds where a better solution is available and we can bring that to them. So when we're talking to them, we're trying to talk to them in a language they understand, not coming from an alien language where, we're obviously we're not, but in a case where we're super techie guys and we know nothing about real estate and we want you to join our platform that it doesn't exist because we know we can make it better for you and this is going to make us rich. In that case, nobody's going to want to talk to you. Instead, come in from a point of, we're new to real estate space. We've been in here for 6 months, a little bit longer for me with investing, but we're here to learn. We want to know what you've done, what works, what doesn't, what you'd tell to someone like us starting brand new. And then go into, so what problems do you need fixed? Or what problems do you go through on a daily basis? And make sure, a small gem in terms of any market research for any product, anything, is always ask what they have or have not done, not what they will or will not do. Because it's easy to speculate and it's easy to say you're going to do something. So if you say, would you buy my product? Yeah, I'll buy your product. There's no commitment to that. It doesn't have to be monetary commitment. There's no commitment in terms of energy commitment where, I have actually struggled with this problem this day in the past 3 weeks and nothing has worked and I've actively tried to find a solution. That's the type of customer you want, because that person, when the solution is available, they will do what they can to get that solution and to actually incorporate it into their everyday lives and their business. So understand that figuring out what they have and have not done in the past are patterns that will show you that what they will and will not do in the future, despite what they may say if you ask them about that. Another small tip, always ask open-ended questions and don't assume the answer or give like a cop-out. So for example, if you're asking, I made this mistake today on this meeting. I was asking if this guy was like an investor more so than a wholesaler. So I was asking whether he what was it? If he would rather search for deals on his own, in his own power, or to receive deals by wholesalers or by people in the area. And I kind of gave like a benefit of one of them or something. I forgot exactly what I said, but I kind of hinted at, oh, this one's better. And he kind of just agreed with me and kept going. So if you want an answer, put both options on the table or whatever the question is on the table, and don't, like, as hard as it might be to like naturally want to lean towards what you believe is right, leave it as unbiased as possible so they can give you the true answer. Because it's human nature to want to, I guess you can say, like, please people. So if you're asked this or that and the person asking you is like, oh yeah, this one's way better, right? You're always gonna be like, oh yeah, that one's better, even if you don't believe it. It's just easier to do. Not obviously, not everyone's like that, but you have to assume that people are, so that you don't run the risk of a skewed result. Another thing I would recommend, and we've begun doing, is actually understand what you're wanting to learn in the conversations. Don't just go into it of like, oh, we're gonna learn more about what our people think. That's fine to do it the first few times, and if it's gonna stop you from talking to people, like, that's fine. Like, go talk to people. That's what you need to do. Get out of the building. By the way, read this book. It's called Talk to Humans. I'll put it in the description, the name of it. It's a super short read, and it'll be very, very helpful if you're looking to do market research. So back to what I was saying is, actually, I forgot what I was saying. What was I saying? All right. Anyways, moving on to another point. If I remember, we'll see. Whatever. Oh, that's what it was. Understand what you're looking to learn, because if you go into it with a direction in mind, not an outcome. Don't come up with an outcome in mind, because an outcome is going to make you hear different things. You want to hear exactly what they're saying and how they're saying it, and keep that conversation in their tone. But if you have a direction of where you want to go, you'll be able to frame the conversation with questions that directly correlate to what you're looking for. So if you're trying to figure out if, like for us, do wholesalers need a platform to send their deals in a cleaner and more professional manner, with more information, whatever. Now, if we know that's one of the things we're looking for, if a wholesaler starts talking about how they mostly post on Facebook, then knowing that direction, we can ask them, oh, okay, what are the results have looked like? Has anyone ever asked you like for more information? Boom. Obviously they have. Every single Facebook post is trash. But for example, that would be like, oh yeah, they have. And then we have more information. Okay, that's a problem. Now, have you done anything to try to add more information? Oh, it takes up too much time. Okay. How much, what's it worth for you to have that information there? It does not take up more time to respond to all of these than to do it right the first time. These are all like super niche specific questions that I'm just thinking off the top of my head. But again, having the direction will kind of give you those follow-up questions that will help you move the conversation forward in a direction that will help you most in learning what they actually want, not what you think they want. So similar to the point of actually understanding what they have and have not done, ask them to walk you through those experiences, because in their own voice, when you ask them to kind of storytell instead of answer a question, they're more likely to give real and unfiltered information and opinions. So for example, if you ask someone, oh, have you had problems with Facebook messages, they're gonna be like, yeah, and then maybe give you something short. Versus, can you explain to me like the process that you do when you post on Facebook and when you reply to messages? Then they'll actually give you a story, and then obviously, like if they need a little bit of a push, you can ask follow-up questions. Like the guy we were on today wasn't too much of a talker, so which is fine, and it was great because it was our first call, and it helped us kind of figure out what questions and how to kind of transition the call, especially because on face-to-face, we have one at noon in person. So who knows, maybe that guy will be a big talker or maybe not, and having this experience will help us kind of push it further. So all in all, marketing research is all about learning what your customers want, and it's about understanding if your assumptions on your product or your service are validated or if they're not. And that's fine if they're not. It just lets you know, okay, this is where you need to pivot, and this is why we want to pivot. And it'll give you the assurance down the line that, oh no, we did our research and we know what works and what doesn't and what people are looking for. So we're coming here with kind of a backbone and not like, oh, this is just kind of out of a whim and now our idea is like shat on, like, because it was never proven and it turns out people don't actually want it. So now you put all this money in, put all this time in, and then you have nothing to show for it because nobody wants your product. So it's very crucial to start from the beginning and really understand your market, really understand your audience and who might be interested in what you're building, and shape your product around the problems of the audience. Don't create a product and shove it into the audience's mouths because nobody's going to take it. That was my 11-minute TED Talk. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe. I'll leave that book title in the description as well. But yeah. Anyways, that's all I got for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.